KOD Media presents the #1 late night talk show in the entire metaverse. Covering everything you need to know in the Knight's realm. You're watching The Night Shift. And now, your host, Jigga Man Porto and Drew Austin.
It's not Drew Austin, it's Dylan. What's up, bro?
It's me. Surprise. He let me on another show. What is up?
I promise it's not the bait and switch. We just got one of those founders who decides that eating dinner in New York City makes sense before you have a show. I'll make it home on time, he says. Negative. What's up, bro? How you doing? Everything all right?
I'm good, man. I was just dropping the link in the Discord real quick.
Nice. Well, look, I mean, I had you lined up. You help run our TRV committee. You fight these fighters. And more importantly, with us having Lucien on the show today, I figured why not highlight the house that is kicking everyone's in the entire tournament, man.
I actually have another win I haven't sent you yet. I just got one earlier today.
Oh. All right. Well, you know what? For right now, this moment, it doesn't count, all right? I'm not updating any graphics tonight.
Seconds. You got to fight if you want to watch it.
Well, I mean, first things first, then I guess we should intro the man himself, founder and CEO, LucienDorman. Hey, Lucien, what's up, man?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Well, really good, man. We're having a TRV night. I didn't even know this guy planned to watch a fight. You want to start off with that? That work with you?
Hey, I'm cool. I was just digging your intro there. That was good fun. I was bopping along. I was actually quite impressed. Felt like I was on a game show or something.
There we go. All right, we're nailing it right off the gate. Well, Dylan, if you want to share the screen, pull that up. We'll keep that up while we're talking. But Lucien, man, appreciate you making time. You know, the Knights community, we're really excited about what you guys have been doing, and really just want to kind of let everybody know about the project itself, where it's headed, and you know, you really got buy-in from us, man. We've got these guys fighting every day. This one here, Dylan, dude's a maniac. He's going nonstop.
KOD right now. Nobody's
man, I'm really impressed. I just jumped into you guys' Discord and you know, scoping through the TRV channel, looking at things, just having a chat with Jigga before the show sort of kicked off a little bit. And, you know, you guys are mad into TRV as a community. And I think it's something that, you know, myself, I didn't fully, like I sort of pop in every now and again and say hey to the guys in Gen Chat. And I don't really like raiding other Discords, but I think with the exception of you guys, it's pretty much the only other channel I jump into to say hello to people every now and again. Because I know you guys have so much love for, you know, sort of multiple communities and things like that. And it's kind of what you guys do, right? So I sort of jump in there sometimes to say hey and just show a bit of support and love back. But yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, TRV, I'm Lucien, the CEO and founder of the Red Village.
I guess we got Brendo backstage.
Oh, we got Brendo in the house. Oh, cool. He's dropped in. Nice one. There you go. So it's good to have my co-founder here with us tonight. He's, you know, the right-hand man, the Batman to my Robin, or the Robin to my Batman, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, the two of us kind of founded the Red Village, and, you know, from sort of ideation through to live concept that we have now, you know, we're kind of the brains behind it. So yeah, it's good to have him on as well. But yeah, I think, do you want me to kind of just go in a quick little overview around what TRV is, and then we can kind
I was about to say, yeah, if we can start kind of how this project came to be. I mean, I get the whole Batman and Robin tandem, but, you know, before you guys put on the costumes, what was the thought process? How the heck did this come together?
Yeah, I mean, pretty crazy story, really. I was sort of working in the NFT scene, kind of doing very, very early days NFT strategy for a lot of big IPs, brands, and celebrities in the space, probably around sort of October 2 years ago. So, you know, doing the first ever sort of art NFTs and things like that for people like Carl Cox and, Alice in Wonderland, and got into a lot of like automotive brands doing drops for Ford, Ferrari, Maserati, etc. And then from there, kind of branched out to do my own thing. And the story sort of started with Brendan and myself sitting around one night watching the RuneScape documentary, actually, on YouTube.
Okay.
And so we're kind of at the time playing a bit of Zed Run and like kind of getting involved in sort of Web3 gaming, and collecting and whatnot, and thought how cool would it be if we could bring something that we grew up playing, like RuneScape, like Diablo, The Witcher, Oblivion, like the Elder Scrolls series, etc.
Right.
Into the blockchain, and kind of have like a Web3 version of that and own that space. And like the crazy idea kind of, from the RuneScape documentary stemmed into like a reality when, we did our first drop with the Red Village and sold that out in 10 minutes. And, the next day Brendan quit his job and the rest is history. So, we're pretty deep into development now. That's kind of how things kicked off. But, now we're like, we just finished our seed raised $6.5 million, Animoca Brands leading with, Blowfish Studios, who are going to be building out the long-term vision of the Red Village, which is the multiplayer online role-playing game that we're building. AAA rated RPG, that's kind of the end goal for us. And, having a lot of backers and supporters and doing really well is kind of helping that dream to reality. But, for those that sort of aren't familiar with it, we've launched at the moment with what I call our tournament mode. So that's kind of like an inspiration that's drawn from games like Zed Run, and the likes, where you sort of enter your champions into a fighting tournament, last man standing format to the death. There's an entry fee, and the winners pull the sort of prize pool there. So we have that, the 8-player tournaments, and then we have the 1v1s as well, where you can actually put your NFT up for keeps. If you defeat your opponent, you can keep their NFT. Alternative to that, you can challenge anyone in the ecosystem as well for this mode, or you can put up Ethereum as well if you're not sort of too keen on losing your NFT. But it's kind of like the tournament structure that we have now, which is all live. That's kind of based on the sort of Zed Run style, I would say, with those dark fantasy elements coming through of the RPGs that we grew up loving and playing. So it's kind of all live now, and then that's the sort of immediate was the low hanging fruit for us, and then long term is building out a full blown Diablo inspired, The Witcher inspired RPG, like a AAA rated, super high quality title, and that will build out the Red Village IP into that brand, and sort of hopefully we shoot for the stars and get there.
So Brendo, I know you've been talking a lot on this episode, man. So I'll throw one your way. How's the journey been so far? I mean, it seems like the reaction to everything has been really positive. I mean, people that are in the community are really hyped about it. I mean, even the fact that you guys listen. I mean, we started off with the 1v1s, and it was like, what, a $10 buy-in, and the community had voiced their opinions, and instantly you guys were listening and turned that around. But, I mean, what were kind of ups and downs that you guys have experienced so far with the project?
Yeah. I mean, everything's an up and down every day, man. You know what it's like when you run, when you're involved in a community. There's just a lot of different conflicting opinions, and there's a lot of different personalities, and politics is real, of course. So everything's a challenge, and the journey's been pretty wild over the last 12 months or so, and to grow from an idea, I mean longer than 12 months since an idea, but since we went live, into one of the kind of, in my view, cooler projects and communities in the space, and to now have this opportunity to build in like a quiet market, I'm stoked on. I'm super hyped on the fact that has fallen in our lap. I'm really happy that we can that we can take this opportunity to consolidate what we've got. We've got a sick community. Obviously, if anyone's been in there, it's pretty ladsy 24/7. Everyone's jumping around, having a good time, even right now. And, for us to come out in the next, 6, 12, 18 months when the rest of the world jumps into Web3 gaming, right. And to not have that many people building at the same time. We've seen a lot of people kind of run off with their tails between their legs. you know, and fair weather friends. And for us, yeah, that's the challenge that most people we see as an opportunity. And you know, so I think our biggest challenge is really our biggest strength as well. So yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. But you know, it's only just getting started. So who knows what's curveballs are going to come in the next, you know, 2-3 years.
So who's that? Who came up with the characters themselves? I mean, was that a team thing, or did you guys just sit and they were like, you know what, we need a dude that turns into a bear? You know what's a great idea? A bear turner. Like, how did that come together?
I think Lucien loves bears. That's all Lucien. You know, as a running joke in the community, big Papa Bear Lucien. He's a fan of the bears in life as he is in games. But yeah, the characters and the classes and everything, you know, that was just brainstorming, just sitting there and, you know, talking about like the favorite elements of the favorite, you know, real games, traditional games we'd ever played, and dark fantasy titles. And, you know, like, what do you want to see? Like, obviously, you know, when I play games, I love to play ranged. I love to play, you know, archers or sharpshooters or whatever. And, you know, Lucien loves to be in there as a just swinging around barbarian, go, you know, hell for leather. So, you know, we just took the stuff that made sense as well as the stuff that we loved, and, you know, the things that we'd want to play ourselves if we were to pick up a game, and sort of brought it all together. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a mishmash. Lucien's got a pretty keen eye for design, so he loves to get in there on the finer details and color things and move pixels around, and that's, you know, attention to detail I think really matters as well. And you know, when we dropped our art, like, no one was doing art like we did it at the time.
The art's fantastic.
I mean, like at the time, it was like squiggles on a page, right? Yeah, there was like it was all very cartoon style, and we looked at that, and there's a huge market for that. Obviously, it's massive. But we were like, you know, people, the trad gamers, they're going to want to come over. They're going to want to go, yeah, I want to be a barbarian. I want to be a ranger. I want to be a wizard, whatever. That's what I play in D&D or Diablo or whatever. And that's, you know, where we sort of saw the niche and, you know, yeah, ran with it.
That's awesome. So, I mean, so far with the community, has the release of when you guys started doing the 1v1s, has that been kind of a big piece that people have gone crazy about? Because I know our community, the minute that's launched, I mean, we've got Dylan fighting every Friday night. We're like, damn it, man, you can just do it. Let's watch
take
it.
Any and all challenges.
Yeah, we take them all.
It's been pretty wild. You know, the 1v1s were kind of designed, you know, more of like a special occasion game mode than like a sort of daily grind mode. Like, you know, the tournaments are always going to be the sort of bread and butter of the community and the focal point for, you know, the sort of molding of the game. And then, you know, we sort of dropped the 1v1s as this kind of brutal mode that was supposed to just be for pink slips, right? Like, you put your NFT up for keeps and that was it. And then we had the funky thought, like, you know, sort of like a few months into development of it, around like, why don't we just like enable people to challenge any champion in the ecosystem for any amount of Ethereum that they want, you know, wrapped Ethereum in our case, to kind of open up that sort of like social element to it a little bit, right? And this was an idea, like I looked at Zedrun and I looked at a few other competing projects and thought, you know, how do we kind of differentiate ourselves? And like, it's the Red Village, you know, it's a brutal environment. There's this like malevolent blood queen that oversees the village, and it kind of made sense to make a really brutal game mode that, like, you know, it was balls to the wall, like, don't mess around, like, not for the faint-hearted kind of stuff. And that's where the 1v1s kind of came from, the to the death mode that we call it. And so, yeah, like, that kind of, you know, was designed to just be a bit of a sort of special occasion mode that you wouldn't really do every day because the stakes are high, right? And the risk and the reward is high. And so, you know, we kind of, with that in mind, launched these $10 fees to try and protect the ecosystem, make sure there were no sort of funny business going on with like people fighting champions from the same wallets and things like that. You know, so there's a protection there, and community sentiment was just let's screw off the $10 fees and you know, let's get this thing going with some high volume stuff, you know, and people kind of, you know, getting a bit sour about it and whatnot. So we decided to pull them down to $3. And, you know, ever since that, it's kind of, I think we've got a healthy balance now. Like, we just launched our double ups, which is like, if your champion places in the top 4, i.e. they kill anyone in the first round. So, you know, it's sort of 4 versus 4 in the first round, or whatever you'd call it, 1v1 times 4. If you're successful in that first round, you actually double up, you know, on your entry fee.
Yeah.
So it's like I know, Dylan, you were talking about that, right?
Yeah.
which has been super popular. Like if you look at our tournaments right now, just before I jumped on here, there's like 15 concurrent tournaments of 8 players, back to back full, at the same time. So there's 15 times 8 playing right now. Like just clocking over. So like they're getting crazy popular.
When we covered on Friday nights on our Tonight We Ride show, it's the one night that we don't have a problem ever filling it up. I mean, it's instant. You've got all the guys are sitting here drinking, and I love the fact that you guys went with you can put money on the line, not just the NFT route, right? Because you can tell people have such a attachment to their champion. They're like, even if they think they're going to win, they still don't want to put it up. It's that fear of losing it, right? So when you guys put the whole bet the money thing, look at Dylan with his cocky confident face because he's kicking.
The rest of them are afraid. I've been trying to do it for the NFC. They're scared. They're like, oh, then we're going to have less people in our house for this tournament. Don't lose then.
Yeah, well, that's it. You might pick up a new champion. If you're ever kind of trying to find someone to do that with you, I'm sure if you jump in Gen Chat and TRV, you'll have a million hands raised at once. They'll all be ready for blood. I'm just trying to bully everyone's right now. Yeah, yeah. So stay away from that mode. It can, like, we had a couple of guys come in, similar like the guys from Metaverse Gaming. Brandinos came in and out of nowhere just started taking souls, man. Like he was just killing people left, right, and center, and just taking champions. Like we just called him like the Soul Taker, and he's like cheek clapper and stuff, like all these nicknames, right? They were just because he killed like, I think in the launch he killed like 27 champions, like and took 27 champions or something like that in like the first couple of weeks as like an outsider. So everyone just immediately was like, who the F is this guy, kind of thing. So it's just funny, man. Like the ecosystem we've created is just like, it's right up Knights of Degen Alley for one, but like, I don't know, it's like this awesome community environment that everyone's just kind of really stoked to be a part of, and there's always just good vibes, and I love it, man. I'm like in love with the Red Village. It's just like such an awesome thing to be a part of, and what we're building and whatnot.
You guys, I mean, obviously, look at the roadmap, checking things off left and right, all right? I mean, so we're at that point now. I know one of the questions we usually get, I think, Dylan, you submitted this question, right, before I asked you to come on the show, where you were asking, when will we see Blood Portal utility and what's kind of the plans with that? I didn't know if that was something we can touch on tonight while we have you guys.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Before you answer that, Lucien, I think the other interesting point you brought up just then was like, the roadmap ticking things off. And it's actually something I've literally got on my little to list for today, because I was looking at our roadmap yesterday going, like, shit, we have ticked off like the vast majority of what we ever said we would on our roadmap, right? Like we're approaching the end of that roadmap. And for us, this is like so like very much the beginning, but I guess to someone else they'd be like, wow, they've ticked off, where are they going next? So that's one of the things I'm going to go and do, is update our roadmap and sort of give a bit more clarity and direction. Obviously we have our interactive roadmap, which you can see like what we're actually working on is development tasks and stuff, but the high level stuff on our roadmap, like if you were just drop in, you'd be like, these guys are nearly at the end of it, and which I'm stoked about, right? We've actually done all the things that were our blue sky objectives when we launched this. Like, how many NFT roadmaps have you seen delivered?
Get to the end.
Not many, if any. We're gonna, that's one of my things to do today, is go and maybe show people what we're working on. Yeah, Lucien, I'll let you. The floor
Blood Portals.
There you go.
Yeah, I was excited about that too, Brendo. But yeah, we could talk about that all day. But yeah, Blood Portal. So the Blood Portal was the first ever mint we did. It was 0.1 ETH. You got a champion for free, and then there are a bunch of promises that we made that we've kept all the way through. Things like a sandbox avatar, or early access to merch, which we launched like last week or the week before, where we gave like cost price merch to everyone. So you can actually, at the moment, if you own a Blood Portal, jump on our Discord and go into our announcements channel. There'll be a link to the merch, and you'll be able to get cost price hoodies, which are about $40, which is they're super premium hoodies. So snap one up. They're going to be about $80.
Hey, Dylan, get to work. Get to work. We need some hoodies. All right.
I mean, I'm just stoked because they look so good. They came out, really, really awesome, and they're like really high quality and stuff. So American supplier and stuff like that. So yeah, we have that, and then we've got the Blood Portal Championship, which we'll have coming up soon, which will be a free to enter tournament, like a competition structure, which will be free to enter for all Blood Portal holders and exclusive to Blood Portal holders. And there'll be quite a large pot that TRV will put up in like a sort of bracketed style, where the winners will take large sums of money and kind of potentially and it has some sort of like some of those iconic champions crowned in the process, which is really cool. So yeah, they're kind of a couple of utilities that we brought forward for Blood
We did
Portals.
the Sandbox as well. We linked up with the Sandbox, one of our partner projects, and with shout outs to Sebastian, who's the founder there and one of our advisors. He helped us get out NFTs for the Sandbox to everyone, which obviously the Sandbox is going from strength to strength, and we've seen a few little mini games pop up in there using Red Village Champions, which I think is sick. But yeah, there's the Blood Portal, like, we talked about at the time, it's that word that was the buzz in 2021 or whenever it was, perpetuity. And we still think about the Blood Portal when we do stuff, right? But, there's the Blood Portal is always going to have a special place in our hearts, and we've got plenty more that'll be centered around it. So I think it's sick that, it's like one of my favorite NFTs on the market too. Just if you get it and listen to the sound, I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's like, 3D, listen to the sound. It's just this eerie, super high fidelity, well designed thing. I think it's sick.
Yeah.
I love well, what I want to do is, Dylan, can you pull up that fight that you had scheduled?
Yeah, I got
it. Because I know we're going to get people that, watch, and then the usual, right? Ones that haven't paid attention to TRV will then message me and be like, hey, can we talk about this? I'm like, just go watch the freaking episode. So I thought it makes sense to actually show a fight while we're on here, while you load it up. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was, I know you guys are super busy. You've got so much always going on. I mean, I messaged Lucien. It takes a couple of days, and he's like, I'm this part of the world. I'm over here. And I'm like, I have no idea where this guy's ever based. But we started our big competition, and what I love the tournament that we put together in-house was the fact that what you guys put together matches what we want to do when it comes to guys wanting to create lore. But on top of that, be able to take some guys that are going to fight to the death and put money on it, right? So it's like you're touching like everything that hits those Degen pockets for us in such a great way, but such a fit for us as well. And I want to be able to, once we see this fight, if he's able to pull it up, show you guys some of the lore that's been done for some of the TRV houses and fighters that we've done. And I mean, you guys have witnessed Zook already calling fights, right? So we got that covered. So for everybody watching this right here, which fight do you have in this one? Let me guess, Marigold.
No, we got Knightley in this. Knightley Fosley.
Knightley Fosley's in this one. All right.
Just for FYI for you guys also, we're about to actually release like a brand new version of the game in like a couple of weeks' time with all new character models, all new animations, all new VFX, sound, and all the rest, which will be really exciting.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this is very much just like our alpha version of the game. There's a lot more coming, which Lucien's been working very hard on for a few months now, and pretty excited to make it more gamey even. By the way, Knightley Fosley, sick name. That's a sick name. Fosley.
Yeah, no. It works perfect with the Knights of Degen.
100%. You're coming up with like 11,000 names is no small task.
He's got some pretty good looking armor there too. Is that rune armor or? Maybe
I honestly don't know.
Well, if it is, it's highly sought. So.
This is our this is the Blood Theater. This is like one of our signature arenas. This was the first that we ever developed. It wasn't the first we ever rolled out with. That was the tavern because love a tavern sesh. But we got about 5 different maps, I think. And this is definitely one of our more iconic, and you can move around the screen as well, right? It's all completely it is a game. You are able to move around, zoom in and out, do all what you want, which is sick. You're sort of in charge.
So if you guys don't mind me asking, and you don't have to answer if you don't want, but what would you say maybe 1 or 2 of the things that people complained most about the game itself in beta so far?
They usually complain about sort of, user experience stuff, like, for instance, having not enough tournaments of certain price points, or it's usually like things that we can kind of solve. We kind of, with every decision we make, we always, first and foremost think about how it affects the collector and the community. But then, often if we're not sort of 100% sure on a decision, we'll actually go to the community and talk to them about their perspectives on things and suggestions, and have open discussions like every Thursday or Friday in Australia. For Alpha Thursday, we call it, because it's kind of fringing on Thursday and Friday from both Australia and North America. So Alpha Thursday is like a day where we all kind of get together and have open discussions on Twitter Spaces and things like that, and get feedback directly from the community and these sorts of things. So it's pretty it's a lot of open dialogue in our community, probably more so than other projects. So as I hear, like not sort of looking at that firsthand, but from other sort of community members, they always talk about how, we got a bit of a bug going on here. Anyway, they're still fighting. They're shooting sideways.
You know what?
Oh, yeah, they're not going the right directions right now.
I feel like this guy backstage must have saw that we started doing some TRV fights, and he ran over here real good. You know who it is, Dylan.
Yeah.
He's lucky I'm not going to pull him on camera yet, all right? Because he took his shirt off acting like an idiot. What up, Zook?
What up? What up?
Hey, here he is.
I could smell him from a mile away.
Yeah, I thought you were going to put me on stream when my shirt was off, but
I was about to, but then I was like, you know what? I don't want to lose the viewers. Yeah, we have to keep a steady stream,
I do this thing now where I know when Jigga is doing a stream with someone, and I have to log into the StreamYard, so I just go behind the scenes and just make faces.
I've seen him with his shirt off way too many times. So, Lucien and Brenda, if you guys are cool, I'd love to show you kind of the trailer of how we put our stuff together for the Knights of Legion Battle of the Houses.
100%.
Cool.
Brenda, you got to jump.
The Knights Battle of Champions. One tournament to decide it all. 4 houses. The House of Pain, featuring Hope Turner and Word Clapper. The Outlaws, featuring Marigold and Nightly Foeslay. El Matadero, Jeffroy Dreamwaft, and Mystic Managed. The Dejan House, featuring Lightstare and Breaker of Bones. 4 houses, 1 tournament to decide it all. Which one will you back? The Knights Battle of Champions.
So that was our official trailer, right? And now every house has its own lore. Things are just popping off in the Discord. It's been a lot
better
of
than
fun,
our trailer.
All right, so I expect a call from Brenda later this week. All right.
Yeah. How'd you do it? Man, that's unreal. Also, just a couple of sick champ names in there as well, like Mystic Managed and Breaker of Bones. That was sick. That was a sick trailer. I love it. I think you've nailed it. Wow.
You guys put in a lot of effort for that's not even your project. You kind of just really repping the community stuff in CGen.
Now I highlighted yours, Dylan, because you guys are in the lead, but we've had our community
in the lead by 80.
Yeah, for real. But we've had our community come and they've wrote the lore to go to each one of these houses, and now we're starting to work individual lore for each one of our fighters. And the plan is to keep growing this tournament month over month. It's been a lot of fun.
You're gonna make Brendan bloody, froth out of the mouth in a minute. He loves lore. It's what he does.
Yeah, right. It's something that I'm kind of going to crack onto in the next couple of months, is really building out a whole lore bible around this. And then I love community lore, man. I'm so much into it. I'll definitely love to read all this stuff. That's sick.
Yeah, I'll send them to you so you can check them out. And I know we've got them on Twitter, but I'll send you a copy so you can check those all out.
100%.
So I'm not that guy that likes to keep people on the show forever. So before we let you guys
That's
go,
me.
Zukonomics every episode. So this real quick is what I call Jigga's hot buttons. All right, how you doing? That's hot. All right. So here's the things that have made the list so far. We'll just touch on them. All right. Number 1, summoning. What you have planned there excites the living shit out of me. Can you explain a little bit on this and how far off are we from seeing this come to life? Summoning.
Yeah, so summoning. It's too bad that Matan's not here. He's the brains and mastermind behind, the algorithm, and then also leading into summoning. So, tournaments and summoning. But we're probably, we're looking at rolling out summoning in 3 different phases. So first phase will be kind of, not too dissimilar to what you would see in projects like, the Z-Run and Axie Infinity and these sorts of projects with the sort of standard breeding program, kind of very much influenced by those sorts of projects. And that's kind of just to get our sort of structure in place, and then kind of have everything ready to roll out into phase 2 and then into phase 3, which are kind of going to be a little bit more technical and sort of a little bit more exciting and fun. Summoning for phase 1, we're probably looking at rolling that out in the next probably 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 weeks, just depending on how quickly we pull the trigger on that. But it's we're very much very soon on that one. So it is going to be awesome. You can kind of combine the DNA in a demonic ritual to summon like a reincarnation of a fallen champion. It's kind of like very much our spin on breeding. Usually you would look at two champions that are of a similar sort of character class and then combine their blood to produce a new one. And so there's all these like really exciting things coming around that as well. A concept I'm really stoked on, I know this is probably supposed to be really quick, but is our runes that we're going to launch alongside summoning. So you can actually combine in a summoning process these things called runes, which are, as most of you guys probably know who've ever played an RPG. They're kind of like magical stones that have rune words engraved into them and things like that, kind of give you special powers and things like that. So it's a really cool concept. There's a leveling system behind it and sort of experience points that are gained through fighting in tournaments with you're leveling up and then awarding runes that then can be used as like catalysts in summoning and things like that. So it's like ultra amazing. And there are all the different rarities of runes, and you can combine rune words to create an elder rune and things like this, right? So it's pretty broad and really, really exciting. It kind of gives progression in the tournaments and then kind of leads to incentivizing summoning. So there's this whole game loop around it, and it's really cool. But yeah, summoning.
The world's crying out for summoning. Everyone's keen as on. So everyone I speak to is like, summoning is going to change the game, right? And don't get us wrong, we've spent a long time studying what does and doesn't work in breeding for other projects, and when I say a long time and a lot of time, we're talking
like a year.
This is something we put some thought into, and I think that what we've come up with will blow everyone's socks off, and sort of hopefully put our place really front and center in the map. So yeah, like not too long. We never like to give a definitive timeline, but
no, we're good.
I've seen a lot of it. I know pretty much all the legwork's done. It's just coming up with a bunch of the sort of technical side that we're doing at the moment. But yeah, we're very close.
Hell yeah.
Let me ask you something from the other side of it, which is the opposite of summoning, I guess, the gameplay and the fighting side of it. And sorry if you guys already covered this, but what has been the initial response to like 1v1s? And based off that response, has that led you guys down any further rabbit holes as to, where you can even take this even further?
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of covered that briefly before, but 1v1s were kind of meant to be a kind of special occasion mode where you can put your NFT out for keeps, or play for Raptor Ethereum and challenge anyone in the ecosystem to any amount of Raptor Ethereum in a full customized fight. One thing we didn't expect is for them to be like so just like obviously you launch any product and you want it to be loved, but I think the people in our community were kind of blown away with just how perfectly it works in like a bracket style tournament structure. Like you can kind of shit talk before the fight.
Yep.
Kind of like UFC, right? You go 1v1 and you can kind of shit talk each other a little bit, and like you kind of match up the fighters, and the stats are aligned next to each other, and it just works really well as like a streaming game mode that we have, right? It's very much like boxing or UFC or things like that, which we didn't really anticipate. We kind of just thought it'd be like a complimentary game mode that's fun for special occasions, and people were sort of riding around the $10 entry fees that we put up, so we had to drop those down to $3, and we're now in the middle of like 2 tournament. We call them championships, but basically they're tournaments. So 1v1's taking a back seat this week, but I fully so whenever we put the focus on 1v1s, they just get mentally just spammed, and people just absolutely love them. So it's been really great. Like we had a lot of positive feedback on that mode. I think gameplay in general, like Zuki, just to answer your question, is around that. Everyone's been really hyped. We've had like highs and lows throughout the journey, but I think at the moment, like today, we've got like 15 concurrent tournaments back to back at the same time. 8 players. This is we had our highest volume of our highest tournament volume ever about 2 or 3 days ago for daily volume of tournaments. So I think we're kind of getting to a point now in the journey with TRV that people are sort of recognizing us as a serious player, and kind of seeing that there's really true potential behind what we're doing, and it's a lot of fun. And that's kind of getting sticky, and we're just sort of seeing new players come in and like people talking about it a lot more and things like that. So
we're working on a whole, just to bump in on that, I reckon one thing that's important is we're working on a whole bunch of different gameplay things, right?
That's cool.
Like, you've seen 1v1s, you've seen double ups. People were crying out for double ups in other projects. We rolled them out, right? And people love double ups. Why wouldn't you? And then we've got a bunch of other things that we've seen success in other types of games and all this sort of stuff that we're like, that would work so well for what we're doing. We're about to roll, but we've got so many other things on the back burner to keep that people's interest level up, and to keep like new and fun and exciting sort of game modes in that just make a lot of sense, and that frankly it's kind of surprising that haven't been done elsewhere. And so we've got heaps of stuff. Like it doesn't end at 1v1s, it doesn't end at double ups. Like we've shown how fast we can roll out new stuff, and we're just going to keep on doing it to make sure that it doesn't get boring, it doesn't get old. It's really
the goal is to like have like in the off weeks like a kind of fun game mode, like daily kind of thing. So you have like your cheap Tuesdays, we have like Palmer nights in Australia. Everyone goes down the pub and has a Palmer night. So we're thinking like, maybe we can have a day for like double ups, and we could have a day for like winner takes all, and we could have a day for things like that, right? So we'll have the tournament structure, the classic mode, and then have these like fun complementary modes that might be a daily surprise, and then on the off week we'll have a big competition where we run a tournament and things like that. So
do you guys know what a Palmer is?
Events.
Do you guys know what a Palmer is? Lucian's like, we go down the pub and have a Palmer. Does anyone know what that is?
Palmer, I figured it was like some sort
That's
of
like a beer.
Like an Arnold. I was thinking like an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah. No, hell no. Yeah, man, you gotta work on that. It's a chicken breast, finely compressed, coated in a nice breaded crumb sort of thing, and then you slap on some melted cheese, a little bit of ham, and then some tomato sauce on top.
Right.
Chicken parmigiana.
I'm on Palmer now.
Wow.
It's actually considered the unofficial dish of Australia.
And you have it with chips and then pepper gravy. Boys, it's delicious. If you get to Australia, you get yourself down to a pub and get yourself
Parmesan
a
us.
chips. You got to do that.
I thought it was like a Foster's. I thought you were just hammering a Foster's.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Palmer.
Fun fact, I used to work for Foster's.
Really?
Yeah,
Foster's, it's Australian for beer. Did you come up with that?
That's where he got his start. That was it. Famous, man.
So I have another question for you. For each of you, what is your favorite trait in the game or character?
Ooh, character in the game. I mean,
you know what my favorite is? It's no longer with us, but Backwards Bear.
Oh, it's great.
When we launched, there was this hectic bug where the druid turns into a bear, right, for its special attack, and the bear would frequently Michael Jackson moonwalk backwards.
Oh, I remember seeing that, dude.
And then slap the other way, right? And it was a bug, and then we kind of worked out how to fix it, but then it was so popular, Backwards Bear, in our community that we were like, we can't really take this away from people now.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, we did eventually. So backwards bear, it still, very occasionally pops up. Something bugs out or whatever. But that's my favorite trait. R.I.P. to backwards bear. We might bring it back for like the RPG, right? Let's get a backwards bear in there as a boss.
Booty slapping backwards bears, yeah, it was good stuff.
I love the normal bear. I like the normal bear.
It's just a bear, man.
Just like, maybe that makes me like, maybe that makes me basic, but I just like the normal bear that runs forward and claws people. I'm fine with that.
Man, well, I do love the fact that you guys are putting a big focus on tournaments as well and seeing the ones that have been popping up lately, and it's great to see so many other people starting to pay attention. It's like, hello, we've been paying attention from the get, right? We're all about what you guys are doing and really enjoy it. Obviously there has to be some sort of path, right, Lucien, where we got to get together, Brendo, talk about maybe a big collab Nights of Edje, TRV. I don't know. No spoilers, no nothing, but I don't know. It seems like it makes sense.
It's
door's always open, mate. Let's do it.
Sounds like a plan.
Competition. Let's do it.
Now, Dylan spoke with Lucien earlier and Brenda, and what they decided was they're going to throw a champion in for the house that wins the tournament.
I gladly accept the champion.
You see? You like how I worded it? But here's the bad part, Dylan. You continue to lead the way. Those that backed your house from the Nights of Edje, they'll be throwing a raffle to win that champion. And the kicker, I'm going to add that person with this champion, and I'll match that champion, and we're going to add a 5th house to season 2 of the tournament. So, Dylan, you possibly could be winning right now. You might be winning to eventually lose to the champion that they're giving us, bro.
Hey, I'm just not going to teach them all my secrets. I'll hold back a little bit so I can beat them in the end.
Hey, we'll chuck in an unblooded champion as well. And for those of you that don't know, an unblooded champion means a champion that has never been fought. He's unboxed. He's boxed, sorry. And you will be unboxing him for the first time, in a fight. So there's nothing better than throwing a fresh champion into his first ever fight in the attempt to discover the strongest champion in the game. Sometimes you'll have a dud. Sometimes you might have an absolute weapon. And that's what TRV is all about. So that'll be coming straight from the team wallet to one of the lucky guys over in the Nights of Edje community.
Man, well, guys, seriously, we love everything you guys are doing. Thank you so much for throwing that in for the giveaway, and appreciate you guys just hanging out with us tonight and letting us continue to cover what you guys are putting out there. Keep doing it because we're not going anywhere, guys. We're gonna keep building lore. We're gonna cover this, and man, thank you so much for making time tonight.
Absolutely awesome. Thanks for having us. Always a pleasure catching up with you guys.
Peace out, brothers. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Zuki. Thanks, boys. Much love.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Let's be real. We love covering the game, right? Hearing all the other stuff that they're adding to it now, what do you say, 2 weeks, possibly 3 weeks? We're seeing updates to the game itself? How you doing? Dylan, you're the one sitting there fighting like all day long.
Yeah, I don't know if the other houses know that there's a competition going on.
Listen, by the text and the Discord messages I get from the other houses and the depression that they're going through because of this tournament, I promise you, they're playing. Okay.
Every time you're like, "Hey, you guys got updates?" and they're just like, "No, what do you?" Like, I don't know what happened to Bob and them. Bob was good before this, but.
Dude, but I feel bad because you keep throwing in every time you win, and then you force me to be like, "Hey, how's everybody else doing?" And it's crickets.
I make sure to post every single one so they have to see it and get more demoralized. It's mind games too.
Well,
Doughboy's on full tilt. You saw his little rant last week while I wasn't here.
Yeah, he did go off.
His lies. They're throwing it. No, you guys are all just getting beat.
It's true. It's true. So, love the fact that we got to hang out with those guys, learn about that. But it is the night shift. You guys want to hang out a little bit longer? You got some time?
Yeah, I can stay.
All right. Well, let's make sure we remind everybody For those of you that didn't jump on the Twitter Spaces, for those of you that live under a rock and haven't been paying attention, or for those of you that are in the chat that don't have a night yet, the Knights Fantasy Football League, the KFFL, registrations are going on. I'm in officially. I'm like, you know what? Just because I'm doing the content around it doesn't mean I can't put my fantasy football skills to the test. Did you guys jump in yet?
I have not signed up yet, but I am planning on it.
Not yet. I didn't know if we were allowed to, but now that I know that I'm allowed to, I'll definitely be hopping in.
Because we were covering it.
We're still holders.
Yeah, exactly. The good thing is, I think the update on Twitter Spaces, we were over 88 registrants so far as of today.
Hell yeah.
And that's before even the Dino Monks guys have been able to go in there that are claiming their passes to jump in as well. We've got a bunch of, right, in the Discord, they're like, I can't wait to get in. Oh, it's.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a bunch of people like me who have just been lazy and just like, I got till the end of the month. So we're going to have some nice numbers by the end.
Oh, yeah. I think the original goal from what Jared said on the Twitter Spaces was like 96.
Oh, we're going to blow past that.
We're going to blow that through the water. It's going to be freaking amazing. I'm excited about that, man. The other thing I want to talk about, we're adding it to our Friday nights. Yo, our VBA team.
I watched the first game.
The first game, well, let me tell you, the other four that happened afterwards have just gotten better. We're 5-0. Our next game tonight at 11 o'clock. Conan O'Duncan's Twitter account is blowing up. Dude's blowing up.
It feels good, Jigger, right? When you push for something that you believe in and it ends up being right. And I don't feel bad about tooting our own horns, but me and Jigga pushed for the VBA to get this team, and I think it's fulfilled everything that we thought it was going to do, like plus. Like following those games and tracking those games are sick. And like our players, we're like actually following our players, and like these names, guys like Conan O'Duncan are going to live in Knights lore forever now. Forever.
Yeah. I mean, we've got, I picture it, right? And think about it. When we have the Dejan Tavern in the metaverse, you've got our FCF player trophies, right? You've got an Ed Crouch and a T West, right? And a Yeti. And then you keep walking, and then there's Conan O'Duncan and Al Duncaccino. Like, we're going to have the Hall of Fame that we retire, right? I mean, look at these guys. So we're 5-0. Next game's tonight. It's been so much fun. And I just see this being another one of those things where we're totally going to take off with. And the community's loving it. So how you doing? Perfect. Cool. Well, guys, appreciate everybody tuning in. We got TRV covered. Appreciate those guys coming on. If you haven't yet, go ahead, get yourself a Knights of Legion, get yourself a TRV fighter so you can then be in the Knights of Legion with your TRV fighter, and then we'll jump over and play basketball, and then we'll make sure that eventually I bring Zook up on camera when he does run backstage, keep taking off his shirt and running around like a crazy man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great night. This has been the Night Shift. We'll see you tomorrow for the Fight Night, boys. Come get your free money. Those boys are hitting every week.
Catch.
It's a printing machine. I'm telling you, it is ridiculous. And I guess on that note, we're out.
Peace.
Go.
in the morning. I remember to take 10 mark.